What up, friends? I'm a psycho killer, and today we're going to be reviewing aespa's debut mini-album, Savage. Like I said before, this is the debut project by the K-pop girl group rookies, aespa. They are one of SM's newest girl groups, and in true SM fashion, they are a bit more experimental than your average K-pop group. It took a bit to grow on me, but their debut single, Black Mamba, provided an interesting combination of some trap-flavored pop alongside some electropop as well, and it also had these sort of interesting and strange samplings and quirks thrown in for effect that I also really enjoyed. This mini-album largely just continues that and takes that even further, and while there are some weaker moments here and there on the project, I think this shows how aespa is not a group that can be slept on. First up, we got the intro track, Energy, and this is how you open up a fucking project. It's high energy with that booming bass and beat, confident vocals, it's just fun. It's an anthem that doesn't fall into the traps of your average K-pop anthem, which is really nice to see. I like the distinction between the more low-key verses and the very bombastic chorus, yet it still has enough breathing room to allow the girls' vocals to really shine. The lyrics also have a really hype vibe to them that makes this track stand out. Savage is their big single from the project, and it is a banger. The beat is just crazy with these odd samples and sound effects thrown in alongside a pretty quirky, almost like industrial style beat. The first pre-chorus is a tad generic, I will say. However, after a little bit, it does start to come into its own, and every pre-chorus from here on out actually molds it into something interesting. That chorus is just so catchy, and the bad bitch attitude on it is just really refreshing. It comes out of left field in the best way possible, and the lighter background vocals that come along as well also really highlight the just fun nature of it. The second, more rap-focused verse is also really well done. However, I will say that Giselle's part is a bit strained in my opinion. It feels like she went out of her vocal range a bit. However, can we talk about that bridge really quick? Like, the wistful instrumental that comes in is just out of nowhere, but it's pulled off really well. And I have to say, Ning Ning's high note during this bridge is probably one of my favorite K-pop moments of 2021. It's that good. The lyrics are also a pretty good and fun interpretation about breaking through your insecurities and being, well, a savage. I'll Make You Cry is more of an electropop tune this time, with very digital sounding trap beats and hi-hats. It has this ominous energy that I really dig, and the vocals are really expressive on this track too. I'm really into those chiptune effects that are present on the pre-chorus, and the chorus itself has a nice groove to it that sets it apart from a lot of the other songs on here. Even the verses seem to be building up to this chorus, making it even more of a standout when it finally hits you. The general flow of the track is smooth and snappy as well, really helping the vibe. I love the attitude of it, and the twinkling soundscapes that are present on the bridge had a great lead up and also flowed out of the bridge very well. The lyrics have that sort of bitter breakup feel to them, but the girls aren't going to take that lying down, and I really like how fun and dramatic that makes them. There's some fun and fluid bass on Yeppy Yeppy, making the track stand out a bit from the rest of the songs on here. I will say that it's not as well put together though, as the chorus is a bit generic, I find, and the different soundscapes and styles on this track aren't as interwoven as seamlessly. It's not a bad song per se, however, it sounds a bit messy in comparison to the other tracks on here. I really do like the flows that the girls have on this track, however, the instrumental just feels aimless at times. Lyrically, it's a fine little main character hype song, however, I do think it gets a little bit repetitive by the end. Next is Iconic. Now, this is a fun take on a trap-focused pop bop. Try saying that 5 times fast. I love Karina's attitude-driven rap with that quirky bass-filled instrumental. The contrast between the sing-songy vocals and the rap vocals is really fun, and that chorus is catchy as hell. The Iconic portion is good on its own, however, the addition of the vroom 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 section adds that bounce that I just love on tracks like these. The transition to the second verse is seamless, and they balance the tones on that lighter bridge really well. Lyrically, it's kind of what you would expect from a song with this title, however, it's delivered with so much gusto that I just can't help but love it. The final track, Lucid Dream, is a cool, softer moment to close out the project, giving us that contemporary R&B jam. The groovy beat and sultry vocals make for a nice vibe, and the electropop quirkiness kind of infiltrates that smooth instrumental to tie everything together. It's dark and spacey, but it has a bit of a warm feeling to it too. I also really love that vocal effect that's going on in the chorus. It's really unique for a project like this, I think. I'm also really loving the addition of the English sort of spoken word almost portion of the track. It adds this sort of sexy flair to it that I think was really fitting. It's just a really well put together track and a great way to end the mini album, and I like the lyrics and how they provide this sort of ethereal, dark dreamscape too. Now this is a pretty incredible first project for aespa, to be honest. SM's kind of known for having these sort of experimental groups, however I think this one really stands out. Great vocals and rapping abilities, unique and engaging instrumentals, some good variety, like you name it, they pretty much got it. Occasionally there are moments where the track's demands kind of outpace the girls' skills at the moment, and there are a few instances of some bland instrumentals here and there, but overall they got a really good thing going on here. I honestly just can't wait to hear all the other wacky songs that they put out in the future. I'm feeling a strong 7 on aespa's Savage. Now, of course, we do have to talk about album covers on this show, and this is a pretty interesting one, because normally I do not like this aesthetic. This is sort of very, like, mid-2000s computer-generated image territory. I think it ages pretty poorly most of the time. However, with this one, it's so stylized that I can't help but feel like it kind of fits their charm. The color scheme is very cold and metallic, especially because their theming is very sort of electronic focused, sort of almost like video gamey focused as well. I think they probably could have done it a little more artsy. However, as far as covers like this goes, I think it's on the better end of things. It's definitely more stylized and intentional than the average mid-2000s computer-generated image, so it's pretty good. Of course, those are just my thoughts about the debut project by aespa. What do you guys think? Is this the next group to watch? You think they're going to make it big? I mean, they pretty much have made it big already, but even bigger? Or is this stuff just not your cup of tea? Let me know. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell if you want to be in part of my digital world. It's kind of fitting. Anyway, until the next one, farewell.